Hi everyone! One of your assignments for this week is to make a drawing in 2-point perspective. We've already drawn in 1-point perspective, so this one you should have some sort of frame of reference for. There's the similarity that you still have a horizon line. And the horizon line can be wherever you want. It doesn't have to be right in the middle of the page, but I'm going to do it in the middle of the page. And then anywhere on that horizon line, it doesn't matter, you're going to put not one vanishing point, but 2 vanishing points. So now what you have to do is you have to figure out what is going to what vanishing point where. So what 2-point perspective allows you to do is it allows you to look at things not necessarily just drawn from straight on. Now we can look at things from more dynamic angles. And what you usually see 2 perspective applied to very easily is something like drawing a scene of a street corner. So that's what I'm going to draw using 2-point perspective right now. I'm going to start by determining where my corner is. Now it's up to me. I can put the corner over here so that you're sort of looking around, or I could put it right in the middle. It's entirely up to you. I'm going to put it a little off center because I think that will make my composition a little bit more dynamic. So this is going to be the actual corner. So now everything that I draw is going to go to one of these 2 vanishing points. Just to start, I'm going to put in a sidewalk. So you can see, here's my sidewalk, the edge of it, and it's going to these vanishing points. And I'm going to give it a little, like a lip, so that we can have make it a little bit bigger, make it go to here. A corner of a building is not the only thing that you can apply 2-point perspective to. It has a lot of other applications, like making houses from the side or anything that's angular, sort of seen from the side. But here are it's going to be my slabs of the sidewalk. There is a way that you can measure these to have them recede evenly, but I'm just sort of eyeballing it right now. So then my building, let's say my building is going to start here. My sidewalk is going to be this wide, and my building is going to start here. And I'm going to start by making one building that is about this wide this way, and gonna be wider this way because I think I'm going to see more of it. This wide this way, and this is where my building is going to sort of come up from. So I'll make it as tall as I want it. And then the top of the building is also going to recede to the vanishing point. So let's say the top is going to be right here. So you can see that because I didn't put the vanishing point in the center, I've got the angles are different on each side. So see how it's receding at a more steep angle on this side than on this side. And that's because the vanishing point is not right in the middle. I think that makes a more interesting composition, but that is going to be your choice. You don't even have to you're going to make your own composition using 2-point perspective, but you don't have to do a street corner. It's just the most common thing that you see. You are very welcome to be creative with it and to try to do something new, or something kind of unexpected with it. That's totally allowed. So let's put in some new buildings. If I put in a building that I'm going to be seeing from the side, I'm actually going to at some point relate to this vanishing point. So the side of this building that I'm going to put in front of this one, as it comes out into the sidewalk, it's going to go to this vanishing point. And I just want to have a little bit of it peeking out. And then the rest of it, the front face of it, is going to relate to the vanishing point. It's starting to get really steep. So see how we're really going back in space now. And then wherever I want my building to end, that's going to be the end. So one of the important things about 2-point perspective is about understanding when you're going to go to the opposite side's vanishing point, like I did when I made the side of this building. That's my dog, if you hear her. So I'm going to make one more building on each side. So again, to get this side of it, edge of it, this little peeking outside, I go to the vanishing point down on this side, and I'll have this one come right to the corner of this one. See how that works. And then the front face of the building goes to this vanishing point. And here's my side. And here's the edge of the building. So that's all the buildings I'm going to have on this side. If I want to, I can erase any unnecessary lines right now. I'm going to keep my vanishing points because I will use them again. So now I've got one side, one corner of buildings that are receding away in space. Made this line a little crooked. I'll have to fix it later. And then when I go over here, the same thing. The side of these buildings are going to relate. I want to make one building here. The side's gonna, I'll see a little more of the side. Let's say it's peeking out a bit more. So the side will relate to this vanishing point. And the front face of it relates to this vanishing point. And we're getting really close to the edge, so it's gonna be really receding at really steep angle right now. So after you get your basic building or whatever you're making established, what I want you to do is I want you to add, just like you did with the 1-point perspective, add as many details to your composition as you can. The more you put in it, the better it is going to look. I don't know why I erased this line. This is a pretty important line. So the more you put in it, the better it's going to look. So when I want to put the slats in the sidewalk, and those are going to relate to the opposite side vanishing point. So if you can see what I'm doing at every edge of a sidewalk, I don't know what they're called, a sidewalk panel, I guess. I'm putting a mark from the corner that relates to the vanishing point. So my ruler is on the vanishing point, and then it's also on whatever the corner of the point of the sidewalk is. Gotta move it over a little bit to do the last one. Running out of space on my ruler. So now it looks like the sidewalk is receding into space, and I can do the same thing with the sidewalk on the other side. Again, there is a way that you can space these evenly, but I didn't do that. I kind of regret not doing it now because now I'm going to actually have to fix this a little bit. But you could use another vanishing point to figure out the spacing on these sidewalk slabs so that they're all kind of evenly spaced, but that's not going to happen on mine at this point. I could just erase the front one and we're good. So there is my sidewalk. And now I can erase the center of that because I don't need that. You can do things if you want, like you can put shading. So let's say I wanted to put this whole bottom corner of the sidewalk in shadow. That would be helpful to making the drawing look more dynamic and to look more interesting. So that's one of your options. You can put things like the sides. I guess on this side it would be maybe the front of the building that was in shadow. So you could put the fronts of the buildings in shadow. You can try to think about a light source, a theoretical light source, and what that would do to the whole thing. So the side, if the sides are on shadow over here, and then the fronts are going to be in the shadow over here. It'd be like this. So that's something that you can think about in terms of making it more interesting. You can do other things with your buildings, like you can put architectural details on them, and those are also going to relate to these vanishing points. So if I wanted to put something like a sort of like a frieze at the top of this building here, I just go like this to this vanishing point, and then I might want to have a bit of a flat point here. Let's say it'll go like this. And then I'll actually have that go to the corner of that instead. It's a slight difference, but I think it makes a big difference to the whole. So we'll do one here and one here. And now you can see, so I have a frieze here, and I could put this underside in shadow. Just like the 1 point perspective, the more that you do to it, the better it's gonna look. So try to really be creative and put as many different things in here as you can. If I want to put something sort of like a garage door here, I'll make it take just like one level like this. And it'll relate to that vanishing point, but then it comes straight down to meet the ground. And then if I wanted to put, you could put a little bit of an overhang in it, keep your shadow consistent. I could put, if I wanted to put a second story here with windows, the windows are going to match up to these vanishing point as well. So let's say the windows are like this height, then they're going to be here and here. And then you can erase out the extra things that you don't need. So put as many details in as many buildings as you can, or not necessarily, you can make one building, but the more things that you put in it, the better your drawing is going to look. If you want to try to do shading, that would be helpful. But just do something that's creative and do something that's sort of your own idea, and have fun with it. It's pretty fun. You have you know, it's a whole new way of being able to represent space that we don't have when we just do 1 point perspective. So hopefully it'll be fun for you, and I'll see you next time.